Hello and welcome back to GymCraft, episode number 3, where I play my Minecraft world in hardcore mode and tell some stories and say some things. This video was recorded, video was done near the end of June, I believe. And it's not very clear on my screen, but that's okay, because it doesn't matter. What matters is the fun we have and the stories that we tell along the way. Now, if you've seen any of my more recent live plays, you'll see that I have played many more worlds than just these 3. The most recent hardcore world I've started was World 14. Now, I know this is not a story about the gym. This is just an update on what's going on with my Minecraft play. Mostly it's because while I'm playing, I'm focusing on what I'm doing, the mission at hand, staying alive. Considering it's hardcore, that is the most important factor, staying safe. And I hope no matter where you are and what you're doing, you're staying safe right now. That said, it's been difficult to capture all of this and get it online. Well, one thing is, if I just post the video of me playing, it's not that entertaining. I mean, there's nothing to listen to except the sounds, which are copyrighted, which significantly limits my ability to continue posting them with sound. So I need to provide the sound, this being the sound of my voice, which you are hearing right now. On that note, thank you for listening. I hope that if you enjoy listening to my voice, you let me know. And hey, maybe let me know some things you'd like to hear me talk about while I'm doing voiceovers in one take for the game that I play in one take at a separate event from when I am talking. Now, the recording of these games has been some challenge. Sometimes my computer decides to stop recording and not even tell me. Sometimes the recording corrupts itself. And as for world number 9 that I was streaming, well, while I was streaming, the stream ended without letting me know. And shortly afterwards, my character died and the world was erased. It's unfortunate, yes, which means you'll never get to see the culmination of world number 9 because it was not recorded, it was not successfully streamed, and now the world is gone. Well, it's not gone, but Steve is gone. Fun fact, although we call the main character in Minecraft wearing the blue shirt and blue pants Steve, more accurately, his name is Steve? And that's because when Notch, the creator of Minecraft, was asked this question, what's the main character's name? He shrugged and said, Steve? And it stuck. And that is why it's Minecraft Steve, but that's not how we pronounce his name. We pronounce him Steve? With 3 question marks, just to be accurate. Anyways, that is just a little info on what's been going on, why it's taking so long to get simple videos out when I have over 13 worlds that have been played. Some of these worlds were not captured properly. I might not be posting them as a result, but I will post the ones that, I guess it's too late now to say that any of this was a success. Because, of course, once one world is gone, I go ahead and start the next one. And that means that I have just ruined the surprise that I lost 14 worlds, including the one we are watching now. But we're not here to watch. The watch is, well, that's for me, really. Posterity, in case one of my hardcore survival worlds lasts to 100 days. That seems to be a benchmark that YouTubers are very fond of these days. And if I do get a world up to 100 days, I'll want to have proof that I actually played all those days. Because in Java, and this is something that I believe many creators are doing, you are able to toggle from hardcore survival to creative and then back to hardcore survival. It's not that difficult. It involves opening the game to LAN play, or local area connection. Local area network, to be specific, but that's being pedantic. Moving past that, there are myriad ways to cheat and say, I survived 100 days and look what I built in my world. And anyone who's played any Minecraft can look at these worlds and say, oh, geez, I wouldn't even be able to finish that in 100 days in my survival on easy. How did you do it, let alone in hardcore? Well, it's because they probably cheated. Something that I am against for personal reasons, and so I'm not going to do it. I'm being as honest and straightforward as I always am. Just saying what's real, and I want to show what's real, and that's why I am broadcasting these playthroughs. Well, I may not broadcast all of them, so maybe I'll just skip to number 15 on the next series that I begin to voice over. But the important part here is that hello and welcome back to GymCraft. Now, where did I leave off? I think it was I was taking a week off of the gym, and it was really good for me. But it was also very difficult because I just wanted to get back to the gym. One of the most satisfying parts of this whole journey for me has been finding my limits and then surpassing them at a later date. And part of the process is that you have to keep going. Taking too much of a break is a good way to disincentivize anyone from continuing to do anything that they've been doing. Running was very difficult for me to get back into, and so I didn't, but plain and simple. But I really wanted to get back into lifting, especially to get that feeling in my hands and in my feet to show that I am in fact building muscle and getting stronger. And if you haven't had that feeling in your feet before, let me tell you, it's pretty fantastic. I know when we hurt ourselves through overexertion, like let's say the thighs, when you're doing heavy leg presses or squats, okay, or the arms or chest when you're doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it hurts the next day, and you're saying, it's so tender. That's very different in the hands and in the feet. Yes, it's very tender and there's a bit of pain, but at the same time, it's the type of pain that you're like, yes, this feels alive. Oh, yeah, I've been living with depression for most of my life, so that feeling of living and being here and sensation is welcome. It's a lot better than feeling numb and disconnected. Well, let's get back to the gymness of it all. So, I had trouble staying away from the gym. I went to one of the local gyms that has the hydro massage bed, and it was hitting my legs in just the right way that I'm thinking, okay, they seem recovered, my arms seem recovered. I can at least walk around the gym and see how this one differs from my normal gym that I go to. And it's just a different layout with one section that is caged off from the rest. I have the type of membership that will let me through that cage into the more exclusive area, but there's nothing particularly fancy about it. I think it's just for the space, for the privacy, for the availability of the machines. Well, I didn't do any heavy lifting, but I did what's known as the pronated, that means hands down, easy bar, that's the zigzag bar, lift. Pronated, easy bar lifts. And with the hand position facing down and thumbs slightly higher than pinkies, it activates the brachialis muscle, which is on the side of the arm in between the biceps, which are the bulge on the top, and the triceps, which are the part on the bottom, and they give extra width to the arm. Well, I'm developing those. So that's the only lift I did, and I was happy with my success. And so just a few days later, I returned to the gym. Yeah, it was a little soon, sure, but it was Saturday. I had taken Monday through Friday off of the gym, except for that experience with the easy bar. And I decided Saturday I'd waited long enough. Truth be told, I thought it was Sunday. Some days we don't know what day of the week it is, and we just roll with it. Anyway, I don't regret it. I did my routine, and to cap it off, I decided to start my adventure on the treadmill. Well, this day of lifting, I actually didn't do my regular routine. I did a mix of different exercises that are part of my 2-day routine. Some of them were A-day exercises, some of them were B-day exercises. But they were the exercises that I enjoy, that I felt I got a lot out of, and that I felt I needed more work in. Well, one of these was doing the calf lifts using a leg press machine. So calf lifts, that's where you stand up on your toes and then you drop them down so that your toes are higher than your heels. Often people do this on the staircase, right? Where your toes are on the stairs, you let them down, you stand up, you let them down, you stand up. And it really works the calves and the feet. Now, I was seeing how heavy am I comfortable going doing these calf lifts. And I did 350 pounds. Now, granted, I was not at my maximum capacity. I'm still figuring that out in regard to the calves, which are surprisingly the strongest muscle group in the body. Well, 350 pounds was still quite a lot of weight to put on my toes alone. And, it worked my calves. But I was totally comfortable with that, as well as I was comfortable with the other exercises that I was doing, such as the overhand chin-up and the barbell squats, and so on. Well, I was very comfortable with those, and that's why I decided, okay, now's the time for my cardio exercises. I'm not going to stick to the elliptical. I'm going to start on the treadmill. It does a lot more for the legs and the heart, and I feel like treadmill training can lead me to outdoor running more reliably. So far, cardio training on the elliptical has helped me with outdoor running. It's helped in the way that I have had better cardiovascular and pulmonary performance. So I haven't run out of breath as quickly. I haven't felt as exhausted as quickly. But I still do get exhausted pretty quick just running outside. Whereas on the elliptical, I can go for 25 minutes without exhausting myself. Well, this is what brings me to the treadmill. Now, while I'm at the gym, I'm wearing my barefoot shoes. They are, oh geez, they're waiting for me to start the washing machine, which I feel was not full enough to run a load, but I'm thinking now I should probably go start that so that my shoes are ready for gym day tomorrow. Well, I can always just take them out of the wash, wear them, and then wash them when I get home. Yeah, worst case Ontario, that's what I'm going to do. So the point there, I wear barefoot shoes. Now, these are shoes that are kind of like slippers. They have a nice hard rubber sole, but it's a flexible sole. There's no cushioning. Well, there's a small amount of cushioning, but it's very thin, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters. They kind of look like ballet slippers when you see them not velcroed up. And they're not toe shoes. They don't separate my toes. They're barefoot shoes, and my toes can breathe and move around. It's very comfortable. And very form-fitting when I stretch and velcro, and very comfortable. I sometimes forget that I'm wearing them. They're very good for the calf lifts that I was mentioning, because I can really put the pressure on the balls of my feet and exert toe pressure without the rest of the shoe doing the work. It's really all me doing the work. Now, let's think about the common running shoe where you have lots of padding, especially on the heel, because of the heel strikes that we do when running. In case you're wondering what's happening on screen, by the way, I am trying to find an ancient city. The whole reason I'm underground here is because I saw a big mountain. I want to go down there, find an ancient city, maybe get some diamond armor from the warden. From evading the warden, more like it. And that's why I'm searching. Okay, that's context out of the way. So, barefoot shoes. They don't have the padding on the heel. Now, if you've ever gone barefoot running, you know that you don't do the heel strike because we don't have a lot of padding on our heels, just enough that we can walk around. But if you go running on hard concrete, doing the heel strike, it's gonna hurt after a short while. So, when barefoot running, develop a new technique. Instead of doing the heel strike, toe launch, you do toe strike, bounce, toe launch. Now, let's go back to where I was talking about the calf lifts being all about the toes. Okay, so toes and the calves, very strongly connected. So here I am on the treadmill. I'm walking quickly. I go to running. I'm enjoying the run. I go down to walking. I go up to running again to do that whole, what do you call it? Interval training. A few minutes of strong, and then a few minutes of medium, and then a few minutes of strong, a few minutes of medium. And that is a way to condition the heart and make it grow in size, in volume, in strength, and endurance. All things that we're looking to do for a healthy heart. Well, after maybe 20 minutes on the treadmill, my calves are screaming at me because of all the running that I'm doing using my toes. And I decide, okay, that's enough on the treadmill. I'll do my stretches, and then I'll go home and take a nap. Well, the next day, my calves don't want to move. Ow, that's painful. I can hardly move them. I'm basically walking with knees locked, feet locked, like I've got 2 wooden legs. And I'm figuring, well, this might be from the calf lifts, but it's probably from the barefoot running, something my body's not used to, and so it needs to adapt to this new feeling of the work that I did. Okay, no problem. 4 days later, I'm still walking like I've got wooden legs. So 2 days later, it's Monday, I'm at the gym. Oh, even better. Before I go to the gym, I go to my clinic to pick up my prescription. And in the parking lot, I see this dude who's getting into his car, and I notice his calves because he's wearing shorts. And they are very well sculpted calves. Like, there's no body fat on those calves, it's just muscle. They've got great definition. Um, Chunky bits here and there where they're supposed to be. And so I walk up, I say, "Excuse me, I just noticed you've got great looking calves." No, I'm not coming on to you or anything like that. We both start chuckling. And I tell him the story. I went really hard on the treadmill after going real hard on calf lifts, and my calves are still sore. Today, there's supposed to be calf training. What do you think about that? And he said, "Well, if you're still hurting and you go to train that muscle group, you're just going to cause more pain instead of getting gain. So you should probably skip the calf workout." I say, "Thank you for your input. That's awesome. Have a great day." Well, he drives off with a smile because men, we don't get complimented very often, and we remember it when it happens. Even if it's coming from just some dude in a parking lot who's like, "Looks good, guy." And I proceed to the gym where I do all my exercises except the leg exercises. Well, that's a lie. I did the squats with the barbell, and my calves were screaming at me the whole time, saying, "No, don't do this. You shouldn't be doing this to us. You're so mean. Why?" So then I decided I'm not going to do the other leg workouts. 2 days later, I'm on another schedule for my routine. And still, I decide I'm gonna skip my leg exercises because my calves are killing me. 2 days later, and again, I'm like, unfortunately, my calves are still really stiff and sore. I'm gonna have to skip my leg exercises. It took me 7 days to recover from the barefoot running. Um, and I figure that's because the connections where the calves meet the bones, they were the parts that were healing. They were building more strong connections. Well, that was humbling. I learned a lot through that experience. First, you can overwork yourself and actually create more issues than you do benefits, and it's okay to give it a rest. And most importantly, when you do something new, your body's going to respond by saying, "We need to learn how to do this new thing." That said, if you are doing something and you feel bad afterwards, think of it as though you're the calf muscle that just got overworked doing a brand new job. Makes sense you're going to feel bad. You just got broken down a little bit. You need to build back up stronger and better. You need to develop the strength to do that again, and that's going to hurt and take some time. That's okay. You're allowed to take your time to recover from the hurt. You're allowed to get stronger and then go back and try again. And I tell you what, when I got back to doing my leg exercises the other day, I'm doing the calf lifts, and I went up over 400 pounds. I'm still finding my maximum for the calf lifts, which is amazing. I can't do 400 pounds on any muscle group, but I can do it with my calves. That astounds me. It's like my toes are strong enough to lift me up and more than double my body weight. Why are we designed like this? It's because of the running. It's because we are bipedal creatures. Well, I was on the treadmill yesterday for 25 minutes. I was doing interval training, and my calves did start to feel a little tight. Today, they feel fine. My feet are having that slight sensation of having been overworked and being repaired. But that's what I'm aiming for with those calf lifts. And I feel really good. Like, yes, I damaged myself for a week. I did something that took my legs out of commission for a whole week. But then I got back on that treadmill. I did the same thing, and I don't have the same pain. Yeah. We condition ourselves to withstand more, to do better, to be better. And it feels pretty good, especially having been a couch potato professionally for the majority of my life. Well, gym is an interesting place. I've got some regular contacts there now. I give tips to people. I ask people for their suggestion, thoughts, and input. And the other day, I saw someone who was doing deep squats like I do. And I commented on that, asked him, like, what do you think about this whole deep squats cause knee damage? And he said, well, because of my damage to the ACL, I'm not able to do parallel squats, but I can do deep squats, and that works just fine. I don't know. It's like I don't even notice the weight on the knees. It just transitions from one muscle group to another. And I said, yeah, I've noticed the same thing doing my deep squats. And I'm thinking that's part of the debate online between do deep squats hurt your knees and they don't hurt your knees. I said, I'm thinking that when we're doing that transition through the knees, we're actually building up our knees, and that some people with specific injuries that aren't able to do the deep squat, if they do go a little deeper than parallel, maybe that is where they're getting the knee pain. And what you and I are doing is preventing knee pain by building strength. He agreed, said that's a sound theory. But of course, neither of us are kinesiologists. We're just amateurs who are trying to get bigger and stronger, lose weight and be in shape. Losing weight is not something that I'm aiming for. I'm skinny. I've been skinny my whole life. I figure I'm going to be skinny till I'm an old man. You know, we've all seen that old man at the grocery store who walks around with his hips forwards, his shoulders back. He's kind of leaning back while he walks. I'm thinking that might be me if I didn't start taking care of my physical ability. So this whole exercising thing that I'm doing, that's feeling good. I'm back at the gym, feeling strong. I'm seeing my numbers growing, and I'm feeling more confident to take on a little extra weight here and there, even beyond the double progressive overload plan that I'm subscribing to. It's really satisfying. Heck, I'm thinking maybe I incorporate a few extra workouts. Well, there's one machine. I don't remember if I've talked about it. It's the pull-up assist or chin dip assist. If you haven't seen one of these, it's like a pull-up bar, and there are bars along the side where your hips would be as well, so you can do the letdowns. And there's a knee pad. The knee pad is attached to weights through a series of cables and pulleys. And the knee pad is supposed to offset your body weight. What I mean by that is I flicked the switch for 60 pounds on the pull-up assist machine, and now I can do pull-ups as though I weighed 60 pounds fewer. Really cool, especially if you weigh a lot and you need to develop the musculature to do a pull-up. But let's take a 300-pound person, for example. Most people can't do a simple pull-up if they weigh 200 pounds. Add another 100 pounds on that, and someone who's not fit will have even more trouble doing a pull-up. Well, get on this machine, slap that to 160, and you cut your weight in half. Now you can learn to do the pull-up, get your muscles used to the action, get them used to the weight. When I started doing the chin-ups, pull-ups, whatever you want to call it, I was doing the minus 60 pounds. Well, yesterday I was doing chin-ups at minus 20 pounds. And the goal, I suppose, is to be doing the chin-ups at plus 20 pounds. It's taken me maybe 2 months to get from minus 60 to minus 20. If I keep going in this way, I'm going to be doing very well. I figured I'm maybe 12 weeks away from... what was the exercise? I was using 35 pounds for, I think, the incline chest press. Oh yeah, incline dumbbell chest press. Okay, 35 pounds in each hand from the chest into the air. And with the progress that I'd made so far, I calculated that I should be up to the 70-pound barbell in about 12 weeks. And that's a good target. Did I say barbell? I meant dumbbells. 70 pounds each hand. That's double what I was doing recently in each hand. It's a good goal to stick to. And so it's very important, like I mentioned before, that we track our workout progress. It's really easy to get bogged down in numbers and performance and weight. Like, oh, my weight is not fluctuating, therefore I'm not losing weight and I'm failing at my program. Well, that is somewhat accurate, but you're fooling yourself because it's a long-term process. And we humans are very bad at seeing changes over a long term. And that's where writing it down comes in handy. We can see in the short term, yes, I am making improvements because strength improvements equal size improvements. And that means you're going to hit your weight improvement goals. Myself, I've actually gained weight during this process, even though I'm on what's known as a cutting diet. So, the cutting diet means that we're eating for a calorie deficit compared to the work that we are doing. The idea is that we put our body into a state where it draws energy from fat stores, therefore slowly diminishing the fat stores. That was recommended to me to get rid of what's known as skinny fat. Now, I'm a hungry person because I'm 6'4". I'm pretty big, right? So this whole cutting diet was making me hungry, but it's supposed to drop my weight. So I'm okay with that. And instead, my weight has gone up. And I'm not surprised because I am, for one of the first times in my life, building muscle mass. So, hungry, building muscle mass, getting easily exhausted due to a light anemia. Well, I'm talking to the staff at the gym, and one fella says, I think maybe you should eat more. I said, really? Because I'm supposed to be in a cutting phase. He says, yes, but to look at you, you don't need to be cutting. The cutting is mostly just to trick your body into burning fats. And I've seen you going pretty hard here at the gym. If you keep this up, you're going to be building muscle mass, and you will be burning fat, no matter what diet you're on. I say, well, that's not quite true, because you can't out-train a bad diet. He said, yeah, but you're eating whole foods. Maybe you should just add a little bit more healthy fat in the mix, like eat an avocado, eat some nuts, and have more calories. How many calories are you intaking? I said about 2,000 a day. He said, yeah, you can eat more. That's fine. So eat a little bit more. I've been snacking on walnuts and almonds, and yeah, my gym day yesterday, I did not end up lightheaded, and I did not have the challenge of almost passing out. Well, pretty sweet, honestly. Seeing progress, it's great. On that note, we have to pace ourselves. I shouldn't go too hard all the time. And there's a story of, I can't recall where this woman was, but she was over 350 pounds. Someone in East Asia, and began making TikTok videos about their weight loss journey. And she did really well, losing something silly like 60 pounds in 8 months. I might have those numbers wrong, but my point is that it's equally too much too quick. Because of her social media popularity, the gym stopped charging her for training and for her membership. She was getting invitations, and she was going harder. She got invited to go on some fitness TV shows and like a reality TV show type deal where everyone's trying to hit these goals. And she said, I'm not feeling very well. A few days later, she was dead. I don't say this in order to demean or to scare. It's a cautionary tale. We gotta recognize that the human body has limits. Just like we can't beat our genetics to become someone totally different, we can't rush the weight loss or fitness process. The body is going to take time to build and to decompose. By decompose, I mean that, like, the dictionary definition of the term, to break down. And by that, I mean the fat stores, to break down fat and turn it into energy. So that takes time. You lose too much too soon, and the body's going to suffer. It's going to be drawing energy away from other important areas. People have died on the gym floor because they were putting their heart through too much too soon. Their heart wasn't ready and it burst. Some people have heart attacks in the gym, aneurysms, strokes. These are all things that can happen. So it's important that we all listen to our bodies. Go ahead, put in the effort, go hard, but don't go too hard. Don't expect the moon when you're stuck here on Earth. And if your weight training is making you cry, maybe try another way. Because we are training in order to live a better life, not to die prematurely at the age of 30-something. It's sad because that lady was doing a great job. She was just overworking her system, and she paid the price for it. Well, that said, it really is a cautionary tale for me and for anyone else who's thinking of taking on this fitness journey. It really is a journey. It takes time, a long time. I'm estimating it will be about 3 years until I hit my goal of having well-defined pectorals, filling out my shirt sleeves. Now, for me, that's going to be an especially big challenge. Being a tall person, I wear like 3XL size shirts. That's triple extra large, right? And that's just so that it covers my collar. It goes past my navel, so the shirt looks like it fits, but it's also extremely baggy because I'm not 3XL wide. So my shirt sleeves are going to have a lot of bagginess to them, which is fine. I like baggy clothes. It makes me feel like I'm swimming in fabric, and especially with like a silky soft fabric, that's just nice. So I'm not complaining about my baggy shirts. I'm simply stating I've really set myself a challenge when it comes to filling out my sleeves. Which is why every day at the gym I'm doing the pronated easy bar lifts because I'm working the brachialis muscle. I want to see them grow from where I didn't even know they existed to, hey, now I can feel them, and hopefully later to, hey, look, you can see them. And I'm on that progress. I'm at the point now where I can feel these muscles that I didn't know existed before. And I'm feeling that in many different parts of my body. So here in the game, you can see me looking around being like, this is a small mountain over there. I'm standing on a big mountain over here. How far does this mountain go? And so I'm going to go mountain exploring because ancient cities only appear under mountains, but they don't appear under every mountain. So unless you're looking at a website like Chunkbase, which will look at the map and display it for you, say, okay, go here to find an ancient city. Unless you're doing that, it's a lot of guesswork where you just have to explore under a mountain and see if you find an ancient city. If you don't, excuse me, just a little yawn. It's late o'clock here where I am, and I am not far away from getting ready for bed. Okay, what was I saying? I was saying, um, if you can't find the ancient city in one mountain, just go looking for another. Another mountain. Look under that. No ancient city? Move on to another mountain. Look under that. This is a bit of a tedious process. Some people may consider chunk based to be cheating, and some people may consider hopping over to creative mode to be cheating. Some people say that creative mode is cheating. Some people say that there is no cheating because Minecraft is a game where no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. And really, that's the more accurate of them all. If you feel like doing something is cheating, then it's cheating for you. If you don't feel like it and you say this is fair and there's nothing wrong with it, I'm just using a tool, much like a pickaxe or a shovel, then that's fair too. To each your own. I just think if you're going to claim that you're doing 100% natural and then you go and use steroids, you're lying. And, well, cheating is one thing. Lying is a whole other kettle of fish. You can lie to yourself, but don't lie to other people. What did they do to deserve being tricked like that? And on that note, that's what I'm up to right here, is seeing, is there actually an ancient city below this mountain? I'm trying to find out, because I'm not leaving the game and looking up the seed on chunk base and saying, so all I have to do is go this way. Another yawn. I'm terribly sorry if you happen to be listening to this while you're driving in a car after a long day at work and you're on a highway that stretches for like 50, 100 kilometers and you've got a good half hour on the road ahead of you driving 120 kilometers an hour. And you say, oh, geez, here's the Nerd Pope King yawning and making me tired. Well, crack a window just a little bit. Let that cool breeze come onto your face. Maybe turn up the volume. I'm going to let you turn up the volume. I'm not going to start yelling. Don't you worry. But, yeah, I'm sorry if my yawning happened to be contagious. And I know that it can be because I grew up with someone who, at the mere mention of the word, would be forced to do the action. Some people have a lot of mental fortitude, and others are very easily suggestible, manipulated, susceptible to the power of suggestion. That's how I wanted to say it. I've always been one of the mental fortitude, which is why I did not shy away from experimentation of mind-altering substances in my youth. On that note, if you are considering mind-altering substances and you do not have experience, consult with me. nerdpopeking@gmail.com. Maybe leave a comment saying that you would like me to do videos regarding substance use and pros and cons, what to expect, what to do and what not to do. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I am well versed in that subject. And that's all I'm going to say on that for the time being. Yes, I am referencing the time being. If you have not seen that short of mine, it is a comical suggestion I have that the creator, the great one infinite creator, sent an emissary or a messenger, or angel if you're going to go by the words of the Bible, the translated to English Bible, the King James Version of the Bible, which is not a great translation when you look at the original Hebrew. So the word that was translated into angel is more accurately translated into messenger. So, an emissary, that's the word I choose, emissary of the Creator, known as the time being, was sent to us to give us the concept of time and timekeeping. And so, whenever someone says, for the time being, they are honoring the time being emissary. And no, I am not saying anything against the messenger Jesus Christ. I am not saying anything against the prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. I am not saying anything more than there can be more than one emissary. I am of the strong belief that the one infinite creator has sent messengers to humanity multitude of times throughout history. And each one of these prophets, let's say, wrote down the message that they heard through their own cultural lens. And that is why there's so much difference from one religion to another. Because everyone's getting the same message, but everyone's looking at it through different colored glasses. Well, no ancient city down here, I hit bedrock. Oh, this is where I just make use of my bucket of lava. Let's just smelt some iron here. Get some of this inventory cleaned up, maybe. Yeah. Well, yes. Why every world religion is different? It's because, well, it's the same reason why every whiskey is different, okay? So, whiskey from Scotland, Scotch as we call it. One of the steps in order to make whiskey is to bloom the barley. No, it's not barley. Wow, I'm having trouble with my whiskey right now. But anyway, you take a grain and you warm it up, and that activates it, and then you can put it in a still to boil it, get your evaporated alcohol, which filters, you capture the heart of the alcohol instead of the head or the tail, and that's the good stuff that you put in a barrel to make your whiskey. Okay. So that's basically how whiskey is made. Now, in order to activate the grains, you need a heat source. In Scotland, what they would do is burn the mud, the peat, the earth with all of its organic compounds. And that peat smoke would cling to the grains and would impart a particular earthy flavor to the whiskey, which is why Scotch is well known for the peated flavor, especially the Scotches that I like out of the northern Isle of Islay. But bourbon made in Kentucky, they don't have peat. So when they activate the grain, they use wood, or more recently, electrical heating. And that's why you don't get the peaty flavor in the bourbon. Now, there's more to bourbon than just that. But what I'm saying is, in Kentucky they had wood, in Scotland they had peat, and in Iceland they don't have either of those. How do they make Icelandic whiskey? Well, instead of peat, instead of burning wood, they burn sheep dung. Yes, sheep dung. You dry it, it's got a lot of fiber, and it burns. And that's how you make Icelandic whiskey. I gotta say, I'm not, like, excited to try, but I am curious to try it. I'm thinking, if they make it and then they continue to make it, it can't be all bad, right? There's gotta have some benefit to it, I figure. There's some special flavor that I am just waiting to discover. And I think that's okay. And the reason I go on this rant about whiskey is because the whiskey producers burned what they had, which results in very different techniques and results. So when an emissary of the one infinite creator comes to your town and starts telling you the truth about reality, you can only comprehend it through the lens of the resources at your disposal. And that's why, although the three Abrahamic religions all have the same history, they disagree on many finer points of what to do, how to act. Who is the creator? Who is the prophet? Has the prophet even showed up yet? The interpretation of Jesus saying he is the Son of God, well, in a way, aren't we all children of God? Child of Allah? Child of Yahweh? A descendant of the one infinite creator? And through this examination, I come to understand that every sacred text has value, and to put too much stock into one translation of one text seems ignorant to me, especially when it's a translation of a translation that was rewritten by multiple people over the course of centuries. Well, that's getting into a whole other thing, and the Spiritcraft is going to be another series. For now, what can I say but this has been GymCraft Volume 3, where I got to share my story of the damage I did barefoot running, the recovery, and how that felt painful and good all at once. So if you're going through a hard time in your life, just know, you get damaged, you can build yourself up again, stronger than you were before, more well-equipped to face the challenge ahead. And whatever it is, whatever's got you down, whatever's stopping you, just slow down, assess the situation, take some time to heal, build yourself a boat, and pick up the pieces. Jump back in that water. There might be sharks and zombies and dolphins and more. But you know what? You got this. You can do it. You can overcome. You can surmount and you can keep being awesome. Bye.
Science, spirit, life, Nerd Pumpkin.